What's up guys, Blinkers on here, and today we're going to be making some rising lava in Roblox Studio. So this lava will rise kind of like the game on Roblox, the flood escape, where you would run from the rising water and try to make it through an obstacle course to escape the flood beneath you. But in this case we're going to use lava, and this is really nice if you're trying to make escape games or fast-paced games where you need to think quickly and make obbies or get out of the way quickly or run from something. So this is a really nice way to incorporate a new thing into your game. So first I'm just going to make a quick obstacle course that you can jump through and you can move through, and just so we can have something to use our lava on. So I'll be back in about a few minutes. Alright, so I have created a basic little obby, and I am anchoring it right now. So now we have an obby that we can go on, like an obstacle course. You can jump on it, and it's a really neat little thing. So this could be the basis of some big project that you're making that you would need rising lava to chase the player up. So now we need to actually make our lava. So let's add a new part, and we're going to drag it to the bottom and align it with the wall right here. And we're going to scale it up so it's about as wide as the wall, and we're also going to make it a little bit longer. So you can make this any size you want and scale it to any size you want, but we're going to rename it to lava. And we're also going to change the material to neon. It's this one that looks like it's invisible, but it's not, and it says neon when you hover over it. We're going to change the color to persimmon, or whatever this color is. But it looks kind of nice for lava. So now we're going to actually start making our script. First, we're going to want to make it so that we have lava that can kill you. So we're going to add local lava equal to script.parent. And now we're going to add a local function, and we're going to add kill. And we're going to write other part as the parameter. So this function is called kill, and at the end, 2 lines after, we're going to write lava.touched. We're going to add a colon. We're going to say connect, and then we're going to add parentheses and write kill. So this will run the function kill whenever lava is touched by anything. So now inside of it, we're going to do local part parent is equal to other part dot parent. So this just sets the part that touched the lava and finds its parent. So in our case, usually it's a player that touches the lava. So if their foot touched the lava, it'll get the actual player character as the parent. So then we're going to write local humanoid is equal to part parent. Now we're going to use a function called find, or a little code called find first child, and we're going to write as a string humanoid. So now it's going to search for a child of the character called humanoid, which is the part that manages all the player's stats and stuff and such. Now we're going to write an if statement to just check if there is a humanoid. And then inside of that, we're going to do humanoid.health is equal to 0. This is because a humanoid always has a health stat, and that will manage the player's health. So now if we click play and we touch our lava, boom, our player has died and will respawn. And that's our lava. But it's not rising, and that's the whole point. So now we're going to add our rising lava code. So instead of making a while loop or anything, we actually have to use a service called the tween service. So we're going to write local ts for tween service is equal to game get service tween service. So a tween service is basically an animation service that manages all animations for objects other than the player in a game, which is useful for so many different things in all different types of games. So to start off with, we're going to do local tween is equal to TS create. So this will create a new new tween, my bad. And the tween is basically an animation. So first, to create an animation, we need to give an instance that is going to be animated. So the lava is going to be animated. So we're going to write lava because we already have a variable for that. Now we have to put tween info in. So basically you have to make a list or a dictionary. Yeah, a dictionary. And you're going to set local, and I like to say info. And actually it's not a dictionary, that's for later. But we're going to write info, and we're going to write tween info dot new, and then parentheses. So now we get all these different values that we need to type in. So the first one, time, is how long the animation will play over. Let's say 10 seconds. That's pretty good. So now we're going to write comma, and now we have to write easing style. So we're going to write enum.easing style dot, and then we have all of our different types of animations we can have. We're going to choose linear because that is simple and it'll just consistently move up at the same pace, and it won't do weird stuff like go fast and then go slow, or go slow and then go fast. Next, we're going to add another comma. Always make sure you add commas between these. And we're going to do enum.easing direction dot in. So basically, oh, I spelled direction wrong. Oh my goodness. There we go. Dot in. So basically, an in easing direction means the animation will always play forwards, which is what we want. Instead of out, which means it will play backwards, or in and out. If we had in out, then that would mean it would play backwards. It'll play forwards for half of it and then backwards for the rest of it, which we don't want. We just want it to play in. Next, we get the repeat count, which is one of my favorite parts. So if you read here, it says -1. It says number of times when the tween should repeat. -1 repeats indefinitely. So we're going to write -1 because we want it to repeat infinitely or indefinitely, as it says there. But you can set this to whatever value you want. If you want it to repeat 5 times, then you can write 5. If you want it to repeat 10, then you can write 10. You could even write that number if you wanted to, and it would repeat that amount of times. But we're just going to write -1 and have it repeat forever. But in any other game, usually you wouldn't want it to just repeat forever. So you would change that. So for reverses, we don't want the lava to just go up and then just end up going back down. That's not cool. I don't want that for my game. So we're going to write false. If you did want that so it would like fade away, then what you would do is you would set it to true, and that would be it would go up and then it would go all the way back down. So the animation would play it backwards. And finally, we have our delay time. This is the amount of seconds that we will wait before the animation starts playing. So we're just going to leave this at 0 and just have it play immediately. And that is all of our info completed. You always have to have info when you're making a tween. So back in our tween create method, we're going to write info, and that will then store our info value in there so it knows exactly every stat that we need. But there is one thing left, and that is the property table. So the property table holds all the information on everything that will need to be changed. So in this case, we're using the size of our object, and that is what we'll have to store in a dictionary. So this is what I was talking about earlier. I just accidentally started with the goal first. So create a new dictionary using this goal as the name, or any name if you want, and then set it equal to the curly brackets. Curly brackets is how you define a dictionary in Lua. And then we're going to click enter, and we're going to write goal.size, because we're adding a specific attribute of size. It has to be size, capital S-I-Z-E, or else it will not work. Now you're going to write equal to vector3.new, and now you put normal brackets. So vector3 stores 3 values and is used a lot for coordinates and 3D. Yeah, see, 3D represents a 3D value with direction and magnitude. But for our case, we also need to make sure we do the scaling correctly and find out exactly what size we need this lava to be at. Now, when we're doing size, something strange will happen if we do this incorrectly. If I just scale this up, if I just scale this up until it's as tall as this and copy and paste this size into the script, it will not scale correctly. It will only go halfway, no matter what we do. And that is because it also, if we go under, it will also just scale down this way. So what we need to do is we actually need to get the exact size we need to be up here. So if we scale it up, we need to copy and paste this. We need to get this size. And now that we have this, we're going to go up. And until we're about right there, I would say. But we would go up until we reach the top. So we're just going to go and delete and just Control Z. And now that we have the size that we copy and pasted, you bring this lava all the way up here. And now, since we're at the middle now, we go and we paste the size value back in. So now that we have this, we're going to want to, oops, that was not what I intended to do. We're going to click on it, and we're going to scale it down so that it touches the ground. So now that it touches the ground, this is the size we need. Even though it goes above, it will not go above when we actually run our script when everything's back to normal. So we need to grab our size values, so 37.8, 36.3, 17. Those are my values. Oops, I accidentally cut it out. I need the copied. So now that I have that value, I can just paste that into our vector3.new. And that is the exact size we're going to need for our, lava. So I'm just going to scale this back down to 1. And now that we have this, that is everything we're going to need. So we're going to put the goal dictionary into our tween. And now we've successfully created an animation for the lava. So now we're going to write tween play. And this will play our tween. And yes, this is our tween completed, and this will scale the lava up. One more thing, make sure that before you test it out, do not leave your lava like it was before, like this. Because if you leave it like this, nothing will happen because it has already reached the exact size it needs to be at. So if I go back forwards, we're back to here. So now that we've put in all of this code, and we have a kill script, and we have our tween, we should be able to make some rising lava. We click play, and the lava is officially rising, and oh my gosh, I forgot to anchor it. So when you have a tween, you want to make sure you anchor it, because if you don't anchor the object, it'll just fly all over the place, and it will not end up well. So now that I've anchored it, I'm going to go into the script and add a delay time so we can actually play the obstacle course. I said about 3. That's probably a good delay time. Now I run and I hop onto the obstacle course, and now the lava's rising and I need to run. And now it is completely going up, but I can't, and I've made it to the top. And it is going up, and I'm standing on this platform, and wow, it has made it all the way up to the top, and it is resetting right now. So that is our rising lava, and if you fall in, it kills you. And if you want to, you can also make it so that it will you can just, oh my gosh, but you can sink into it. So you can go into the lava's properties, and you can tick off can collide. So now that I've ticked off can collide, I can go over here and I can play. Well, I died. But if you notice, my body goes through. Boom. So it's kind of like I can sink into the lava. And that's a really cool feature to have. So see, it'll go all the way up to the top, and now you have some really nice rising lava. So that was our tutorial for today, and this is something you can incorporate to all games. If you want to remake games like Flood Escape and put your own twist on it, this is an awesome thing to have and to learn about. But you should definitely remember that the scaling, as it goes up and it reaches the top, it might have some problems because it might not reach all the way up to the top. So you will have to play around with the scaling a little bit, like with the sizing. In the script, I'm gonna have to increase this to probably about 40 to make sure it can go all the way up to the top. So let's do that and let's test it out. I play the game, I jump up, and I go up here, and now that I'm going up, it's going much farther than before, and now it's above, and wow, it is much higher than before now, and is almost going to get us. So that is our rising lava. Just make sure you mess around with those values, and this is something that you can incorporate into every game. If you enjoy this tutorial, then make sure to click the like button and the subscribe button. I am coming out with a series in a few weeks, maybe this week actually, where I will be recreating Be Crushed by a Speeding Wall and teaching you guys how you can make your own spin on it, and I will be releasing my own version of the game, and I hope you guys will enjoy it, and I hope you guys will learn a lot from that tutorial. So stay tuned, blinkers off.